Hello everybody and welcome to Written in Blood. My name is John and today I'm going to be doing the buried treasure tag. For this I was tagged by Paul at Paul Reads and Reviews. I believe that is the new name of his channel. It used to be Paul Reads Books, then it was Paul Reads Reviews Writes, but right now I do think it is Paul Reads and Reviews. If I'm incorrect about that, I'm sure he will correct me about it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get underway. This is, like I said, it's called the buried treasure tag. So there are 9 prompts. There's actually 10, and of course 10 is the one where you tag somebody. Anyway, starting off. 1, a book that has been on your shelf a long time, but you have never talked about it on your channel. Now, I got a pretty big stack, so you know what? I'm going to put the stack down on the floor, and then I'm going to pick from it. So let's do that, because I don't want to drop these things, because if I do, I'm going to cuss. All right. So a book that I've had on my shelf for a long time, but I've actually never talked about, would have to be The Art of Vampirella. And I actually love this book. I mean, it's got artwork from all the covers and stuff from the Vampirella series from Dynamite Comics. Vampirella is one of my favorite comic book characters, along with Red Sonja. So yeah, and it's got some really cool illustrations. Of course, this is the one by Dave Stevens, who also did The Rocketeer. And let me open up here, see if we can get some good ones here. Let me see, really good one. Here's one, right here. All right, and let me see. One of my favorites is from Joe Jusko, here on this side here. But that was really awesome. Of course, one right here is pretty cool too. But anyway, yeah, it's just something I've never talked about. It's actually a coffee table size book. So it's pretty cool. All right. Okay, next up is a book with the cover so awful it's actually awesome. And for that one, I couldn't think of any, but then I got to think about this one. And this is the Complete HP Lovecraft. And I just asked myself, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on with this damn cover? I mean, I know it's supposed to be cosmic horror, but I mean, that looks like cosmic finger painting or something like that. It just, I'm sorry, but at the same time though, it's like I said, it's awesome too. But yeah, it's pretty ugly to me. So bad it's good. All right. Number 3 prompt is a book you love that you wish everyone would read. And that one, I've said this one a million times. I wish some people would read this book. And that is Ghoul by Michael Slade. I absolutely love this book. I've read this book, I believe, 5, maybe 6 times. And I just think it's fantastic. It's a horror, it's mystery, it's thriller, it's police procedural. It's just, the research in the book is just so meticulous. And I absolutely love this book. So yeah, you guys should read this book. It's good. Read all Slade's books. They're all good. But this is his masterpiece right here. Okay. Number 4. A well-known author's underappreciated work. You know what? I can't think of anything offhand for that answer. So I don't have an answer for that one. You know. One thing... Paul over Paul Reads Reviews Writes, and he said Dean Koontz, Ashley Bell. I've got that book and I haven't read it, so I really don't have any basis for it. Underappreciated, I don't know. I can't think of anybody. So, all right, the oldest edition of a book, number 5. The oldest edition of a book on your shelves. For that one, reaching down here, excuse me, is would have to be my paperback edition of The Haunting of Hill House. Okay. And the reason I say that is because the publication date on this book is 1959. So I do believe that makes it the oldest book on my shelf. And that's why I'm holding on to it. Because I got a real nice glow-in-the-dark one. A hardback glow-in-the-dark version of edition of this. And, of course, I believe I got it on my Kindle, too. But, yeah, I'm holding on to this one, too. It's just great. And I love the story. I absolutely love The Haunting of Hill House, and I especially love the series on Netflix. I can talk all day about that series. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Okay, let's see. An author on your shelves. Number 6, an author on your shelves that you've never heard anyone else talk about. You know, maybe somebody has talked about this guy, but, or, you know, I've probably talked about him a little bare bit, but other people, I haven't really heard anybody talk too much about this guy, if at all. And that's, I'm talking about Tim Curran. And I've got 2 of his books here myself. I've got Hive and Skin Medicine. Hive is a sequel to At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. Skin Medicine, if I do recall from reading it, it is a werewolf novel set in the Old West. And it's been a long time since I've read either one. I've never read Hive, but Skin Medicine, I remember I did enjoy it. And what I'm thinking about doing, and I'll talk about this on a new video when I make it, but another to be a little more in detail. But what I'm thinking about doing is taking an author that I've not read any of his stuff, or maybe just 1 or 2 things, and just going through that author's catalog. There's a couple of YouTubers, C.K. Reeds and Lost Cunningham, and they're doing Robert R. McCammon. So that's what kind of inspired me. So I'll go into more detail on another video, and I actually would like to put it to a vote. So when I do make the video, I'll have it to where you can vote. You can just vote in the comments or something like that. And, you know, who you vote for, I'll pick. And if I don't get any kind of reaction from that, then I'll do something different to decide. Okay? All right. Okay. Oops, my thing disappeared. Okay, here we go. Book you love from your shelf that you haven't read in over 5 years. That's prompt number 7. That would be... And I did love this book. And he's another author on my list to read. And that's The Ritual by Adam Neville. And the Netflix movie was just awesome. I loved it. And the creature in the movie was just crazy original to me. So, if you've never read this, I'll read the synopsis, all right? When 4 old university friends set off into the Scandinavian wilderness of the Arctic Circle, they aim to briefly escape the problems of their lives and reconnect with one another. But when Luke, the only man still single and living a precarious existence, finds he has little left in common with his well-heeled friends, tensions rise. With limited experience between them, a shortcut meant to ease their hike turns into a nightmare scenario that could cost them their lives. Lost, hungry, and surrounded by forest untouched for millennia, Luke figures things couldn't possibly get any worse. But then they stumble across a derelict building. Ancient artifacts decorate the walls, and there are bones scattered upon the dry floors. The residue of old rites and pagan sacrifice for something that still exists in the forest. Something responsible for the bestial presence that follows their every step. As the 4 friends stagger in the direction of salvation, they learn that death doesn't come easy among these ancient trees. So yeah, it's a ritual. It's been about 6 years, I believe, since I've read this. So it may be due for a reread. All right. Sorry to keep leaning over like that. Number 8, a book you remember reading in your childhood. I've got this book, and I did read this in my childhood. I read this thing probably 50, 60 times in my childhood. I mean, if they'd had Goodreads back then, it'd have been a long list of that same book cover all the way down the line or something. But I'm talking about Ghosts, Ghouls, and Other Horrors. This is by Bernhardt J. Herwood. I got this in school from the Scholastic Book Services. I love Scholastic Book Services, man. I got that thing. It's like, you know, it was like candy to me. You know, open that thing up and, yeah, I want this book, I want this book, I want this book, you know. So, yeah, it's got some cool stories in it. The Headless Woman, The Old Man in Yellow, The Dead Man Who Cleared His Name, The Ghost of the Werewolf. That was one of my favorites in that one. The Vampire of Groglin Grange. Let's see, The Spectral Knockout. Just name a few, you know. And they're like 1 to 2 page stories. That's it. Maybe the longest was like 3 pages, I believe. But yeah, they're really cool. Okay, and number 9, a book you love from a genre you don't tend to read from. Okay, you know what? I thought to myself, since I gave this guy so much flack for how god-awful bad Elevation was, I'm going to go, go the opposite direction with this one. because this is definitely a science fiction book. It is not a horror book. It is definitely science fiction. And I'm talking about Stephen King's The Institute. You know, the half star or one star, whatever rating that I gave Elevation, yeah, I give this one a 5-star rating. It is just that good. You know, and I didn't think I was going to like it. I mean, I bought it. I'm thinking, yeah, it's because I want to collect my Stephen King. But I ended up really totally enjoying this book. So, yeah, science fiction and, yeah, The Institute. Stephen King. All right. Okay, so that's it for the whole book thing, the book prompt. So the next thing I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to tag booktubers that have buried treasure or like something like that. But I don't know who to tag because everybody has something really cool to contribute to the booktube community, you know, in one way or another. All right, so laying it out there. If you want to do this tag, by all means, do this tag because it's fun. I had a good time with it. All right, don't take my word for it. Just do it yourself. DIY, all that kind of thing. I'm talking a lot. I don't know why, because I haven't had coffee or nothing today. I had 1 cup of coffee. Wait a minute, I had 2 cups of coffee, but that's been like 12, 13 hours ago. I'm going to shut up now. I'm done with this tag, and that's going to do it. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. All right? Or should I do it in a different order? Stay healthy, stay safe, stay home. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Good night. See y'all later.